Hi there, I'm Mark Phillips, and I want to welcome you to the inaugural episode of Enhancing the Human Experience, the podcast designed to help you get the most out of life. And in this first episode, I'm just going to share a little bit about who I am, what I do, and what you can expect from future episodes of the show. But additionally, we're going to dive into what is really behind great experiences and what is the cause of great experiences. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all want, is exceptional experiences in all areas of our lives. So I'm going to share with you what I feel is really behind that. But to begin with, my name is Mark Phillips, and I am deeply passionate about personal development and manifestation and understanding the creative power of thought. And in this podcast, I'm going to be sharing with you really practical ways that you can apply right now, today, in order to start having more great experiences in your life. This is really just an extension of my blog and my books, where I share some of the great knowledge that I've discovered on my own life and from other people that really has a profound impact on the bottom line in life. And that is having those great experiences and getting better every day at realizing the circumstances and conditions that we want to have in life. And so that's really what I'm offering to you through this podcast and through all of my other, whether it's books or blog or social media, is sharing what I feel is really the best of the best to enhance that bottom line. And I've been deeply passionate about these topics for many years. And in 2013, I kind of came to the realization of, well, if you're passionate about them, go ahead and start contributing to the body of knowledge that exists. And so I started writing books and doing some blogging. And now everything has kind of led up to the podcast, which I'm excited about this venue because not only do I think it'll be a great way to reach out and share some of the things that I've discovered, but more importantly, and this is where I'm really, really deeply passionate about, is interviewing folks from a wide variety, many walks of life, many different spiritual traditions or practical traditions in health and wellness, wealth and finance, spirituality, that really have awesome information and knowledge to share. And I love interviewing those folks and sharing that information with you. You can find some of those interviews and information on my website or my YouTube channel already, but I'm really excited about this podcasting platform because I think it'll be a great way to share their wisdom and knowledge with all of you. Because, I really feel that everything we need in life, all the wisdom and knowledge, is kind of locked up in all people. And coming together and sharing best practices for the business of living is what really helps elevate all of our experience, right? I certainly wouldn't be where I'm at now if it weren't for individuals sharing their knowledge with me, and that's part of the reason why I want to give back and share some of the information that I've discovered and that's been shared with me with you. So that's what I'm really, really passionate about in that aspect. And that really is the why right there, right? It's in all of our common good to come together and share best practices. And that's the big why, as far as why I do it, is to contribute to the body of knowledge that's out there so that we come up as a race together, right? And we contribute what we know so that we can all level up our experiences. As far as what to expect in the show, in future episodes of the show, expect really practical solutions for enhancing the human experience from all aspects, from all ways to look at it, right? Very much like James Arthur Ray talked about in his really great DVD series called Harmonic Wealth. If one area of our life is not functioning or up to par, it's going to pull down all the other areas. We're not going to have that exceptional experience, that overall experience that we all want. So expect practical solutions in all of those areas. Like I say, health and wellness, money and finance, spirituality, career and purpose in life. All of the areas need to be functioning at a high level in order for us to have really great experience. Also expect, like I mentioned, interviews with really great people who have deep knowledge in certain areas. I will be the first to admit, I don't know everything. My life isn't perfect. I'm on the path just like you. But what I do love is getting in touch with these folks and asking them what makes them tick, what they found that works best, why they do what they do. And so expect interviews from people from wide walks of life, all walks of life. And if you're a parent and you're wondering, is this show kid friendly? The answer is absolutely yes. The show will always be kid friendly. And the reason for that is because, if we teach these concepts, which are not typically taught in public education or the mainstream culture, to children at a young age, they've got a lot of time to practice them, right? As we know, back to the 10,000 hours to mastery ideology, the sooner we start practicing how to live a better life, how to enhance the human experience, the better off we're going to be way down the road. There are principles in play in the universe and in life that govern what we put in is what we get out. And the way we enhance ourselves is kind of what all I'm going to be sharing with you on the podcast. And these individuals are going to be sharing with you. And if you teach it to your children at a young age, they're just going to have a lot longer to master those concepts, right? Because in a very real sense, life is not a joke. It's not a walk in the park. It is a serious business. That doesn't mean we can't have fun, and we're going to try to have some fun on the show too, but it is serious business. And if you're listening right now, you're an adult, most likely, you know that life takes discipline, hard work, diligence, focus, all of those things that really come from developing ourselves. And you want the best for your kids, and you want to teach them these principles at a young age. If you don't have them listen to this show, at least have them, start giving them something to help build their spiritual power, their spiritual knowledge, their consciousness aspect of themselves, so that they can really have that best life and lead the best life down the road. They will appreciate it, believe me. So next I want to say is expect the show to evolve. I'm always going to be looking for better ways to serve you, to give you this information in a more efficient, effective way so that you can enhance the bottom lines in your life and get the best results. So I'll always be asking that $100,000 question, which is, how can I serve you better? And to that point, I'm always open for feedback. And so if you have a suggestion, please let me know via any of my social media accounts or through my website. I'd love to hear your feedback and for you to share with me what you feel is working and what you feel isn't, because I want to take all that into account so that I can really provide the best experience for you that really makes a difference in the bottom line. I'm not here to just talk into a microphone. I'm here to actually help you get the results that you want by sharing some of the knowledge that I have. And that is my commitment to you, is to always share really valuable knowledge, what I feel is the most valuable. People that know me sometimes, people that know me would agree with this, is that I sometimes get so focused on getting the results or doing the thing that is most valuable, and I sometimes lose out on forgetting to breathe maybe, or forgetting to stop and smell the roses. But that's just a function of how passionate I am about finding out these great ideas on ways to enhance the human experience. And like I said, I've kind of been on this road for many, many years, and that's what kind of leads me to this point where it's kind of, okay, I want to start a podcast to share this information and incorporate it in with some of the other things that I'm doing. So that's my commitment to you, is only to really share the best value in knowledge, practices, techniques that really, truly work. Anything that I share with you, you can be sure to know that I've either tried it for myself and or use it, or I know that it works from firsthand experience. All of my, whether it's books or systems that I create for enhancing the human experience, I use them all myself, and I wouldn't build them and ship them if it wasn't something that I really was deeply passionate about and found to be effective in my own life. So I'm kind of the tester for all the things that I do. So if I'm promoting it, I either used it effectively and it's enhanced my experience, or I'm currently using it, right? As far as when you can expect new episodes, expect them every Monday morning, and they'll be available on many of your favorite podcast platforms, definitely iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and most likely SoundCloud as well. But also, you can also find new episodes on my website, which is gmarkphillips.com, and I'll put links below the show notes on my website. And you can find the player on there, and you can listen to it right from the website there. But every Monday, expect a new show. As far as the show name, Enhancing the Human Experience, that is derived from years ago. I went to a meditation class, and the teacher said that meditation enhanced experience. And of course, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I practice transcendental meditation, and doing that, learning transcendental meditation, was one of the biggest benefits in my life. And I highly recommend, if you're looking into a type of meditation practice, to look into it. I tried a number of things before, different, Zazen style or candle flame meditation, and really the transcendental TM meditation was the night and day, and it had a profound effect on all areas of my life. So I do recommend it. But that statement, that meditation enhanced experience, really stuck with me. And when I was developing the show, I knew I wanted something that was all encompassing, that wouldn't limit out anything. You wouldn't limit out a certain area of life or something, because I really do feel that it all goes into the bucket and contributes to everything we do, contributes to a great life. And so I thought it's the perfect way to weave that in. And so that's how the name of the show, in addition to being passionate about personal development, which I feel is on the other side, which is the cause of enhanced experiences, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But that's really kind of one of the origins of enhancing the human experience, because everything we do, every practice we do, and everything we do it to get a great experience. And so I feel that that's a really good way to round out the show. And to that point, what is the cause of great experiences, right? As the title of this show talks about, how do we enhance the human experience? And we do that by developing ourselves, right? This is why personal development is going to be an undercurrent of the show, right? And really at the heart of enhancing the human experience. And to this point, to talk about how we develop or to talk about personal development, we first have to realize what we are. And we are mind, body, and soul, right? We are those three entities that come together to create a human being. And so in order to, if we're talking about personal development, let's break down each of those areas and let's look at the mind, right? To develop the mind, we have to develop and enhance our thinking, right? And that is using our intellect and our thinking process to think good thoughts, think positive thoughts, think about the situations and circumstances that we want to have as opposed to what we don't want to have. This requires, as I'm not bringing anything new to the game here, this requires constantly tuning our mind into what we want as opposed to what we don't. It's constantly going towards something positive and thinking a positive outcome as opposed to thinking of a negative outcome. And this one's very difficult because as you know, in the world, the predominance is towards negative thinking and to focus on something bad that's happening. Now, I'm not suggesting we ignore bad things that are happening, but to continually train our mind to think about what we want as opposed to what we don't want is huge, absolutely huge. And that is what I feel the foundational component of enhancing the human experience, developing our thinking processes so that we focus on what we want. Secondly, when we're talking about the body, developing and enhancing our body will help us develop and enhance our experiences. And in the way that we do that is by eating pure, wholesome, quality food that builds our body in the best way, right? This means limiting out the sugar, the alcohol, the foods that have been stripped down of all nutrients and really not good for us in any way, shape, or form. Now, this is a huge practice in and of itself, right? I'm not perfect with this, but I know that what we put into our body builds our body on a molecular and cellular level. And if we really want those optimal experiences, we need to tune up this component big time, right? Just like our thinking, what we put into our body and food-wise, the nutrients we eat have a big role in developing our body. Now, last but not least is, how do we develop our soul? Well, we develop our soul by taking action, right? You may have heard this term of the soul is polished by the actions we take over and over. And that is really kind of where everything else comes to a head in life, right? Because when we leave this earth, we'll leave our mind, we'll leave our intellect, and of course our body will not transition with us, but our soul will go with us and to wherever we're going. And it's the actions we've taken that will carry over, the karmic actions will carry over into the next plane wherever we find ourselves. And so we want to be really cognizant that we're taking action despite the fear, doubt, anxiety, worry, whatever, the resistance that many people have talked about it. Stephen Pressfield talks extensively about it in his work, The War of Art and Turning Pro and Do the Work. Also, Jose Silva talked about it when he wrote his book, The Silva Mind Control Method, and also created the courses there. And what they've noticed is that there is a resistance within us that pushes against us when we're trying to move toward being a better person, getting our goals and dreams, creating, right? And it resists us to a degree that sometimes stops us, right? But when we're talking about developing our soul, we have to constantly push into this resistance and do the thing despite all of the resistance, right? That's where the rubber hits the road, right? For all of us. So when we want great experiences, we also have to think about taking the actions despite everything in the universe that is pushing against us in not wanting us to take those actions. So that's really the model that, as I see it, for enhancing the human experience. Again, it is under the umbrella of personal development and developing each aspect of ourselves, mind, body, and soul. So at this point in time, I'm going to share with you my social media accounts because I would love to connect with you and see what you're up to. And you can also find always, supporting pictures or reference material on a lot of my social media. I typically use Instagram the most and push everything from there. And I like Instagram because you can put images or little videos. And so I'll be doing a lot of supporting stuff through Instagram that will then feed into my website most likely. And I'll also put show notes always up on Instagram so you can see if it's something that if that particular show you're going to be interested in or not. But for starters, my website is gmarkphillips.com, and you can, like I say, find all the show notes and the player there. As far as Facebook, now Facebook is the only odd one. It is G. Mark Phillips Fans, Fans. I couldn't get G. Mark Phillips. Someone already locked that up. So that Facebook is, of course, facebook.com/G. Mark Phillips Fans. But then everything else is G. Mark Phillips. So that's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google+, all those are G. Mark Phillips. So again, like I say, reach out to me. I'd love to see what you're up to and connect with you. So another thing that I'm going to be doing in every show is reading a quote, sharing a quote or a short passage from a book that's been very valuable to me. And as I grab it here, something that I really think will benefit you a lot. In today's show, I'm going to be sharing with you a short passage, pretty short, from the Bhagavad Gita, which is one of the foundational books that what I feel is a foundational book, of course, along with the Bible, the Upanishads, the Tao Te Ching. So in this book, I'm going to be sharing this passage with you, and here it is. Quote, "The purpose of human life is the discovery of truth, the unit of knowledge of the Godhead. The degree to which this unit of knowledge is achieved here on earth determines the degree to which it will be enjoyed in the posthumous state. Contemplation of truth is the end, action the means." End quote. So I really appreciate you listening to this episode of the show, especially since it's the first. I know there are about a bazillion podcasts to listen to, and the fact you're listening to this one really means a lot to me. I do appreciate it. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, any of your favorite venues there. Also, if you like the show, I would love for you to leave a review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me. And I really do wish you all the best and that you have great luck in enhancing the human experience. So thank you very much. Health, wealth, and success to you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.